Yeah, it'd be Jays versus Rays and Seattle versus Cleveland. Who wins those matchups?
Seattle will beat Cleveland. And man, I
Glasnow's coming back,
dude. I think the Blue Jays are going to end up in the ALDS. I think they'll have a little bit of that youth magic. Yeah, I think so. What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another edition of Beyond the Diamond Podcast here on the Apollo Podcast Network. Brian LaLima, ApolloDez here with you. Producer Josh is also in the building. Follow us on Twitter at ApolloDez1, at BLima790, and of course at ApolloHOU. Dez, for the fifth time in 6 seasons, the Astros are AL West champs once again. That's where we start.
Yeah. Winning's fun. Winning the West is just standard. It's the first step in the long step to bring a championship home to this great city. So good to see it. I'm predicting that that's not the only celebration we'll do in St. Pete. So I think we'll clinch the ALDS in St. Pete. I'm going to just throw that out there right now. I think we play Tampa, and then we beat them there. And, so champagne showers, some Bud Heavies. The boys were having a good time. Hector Neris finally got his first playoff appearance, and he was just soaking it all in. Tremendous scene. Sparky, as always, on your channel, 790, just giving everyone what they wanted to hear. Justin Verlander dropping F-bombs. And I think that was really cool seeing JV be that guy to give that speech. Never in my wildest thoughts would I think Justin Verlander was going to be the guy doing that. So speaks volumes of how he's taken this second resurgence of his career and all that. But all in all, just the first step. Job's not finished.
Yeah, this episode is brought to you by Big City Wings. Big City Wings is Houston's wing joint. Wall-to-wall TVs to watch all of your games. Be someone at Big City Wings. Yeah, I thought the Justin Verlander thing kicking off the champagne showers was pretty damn cool. He said during that celebration that he didn't even know he was going to do it. Dusty Baker just kind of spur of the moment thing saying, hey, Justin, we want you to, address the team. And some of the things that he said, he dropped a couple of F-bombs, but he said, don't take these things for granted. Being away from the team and being away from baseball for a couple of years, you forget how awesome, celebrating a division title is. And you kind of, not saying he did, but some others might take it for granted. And I thought that was really, really cool. Obviously, we know that Justin Verlander is most likely going to opt out of that last deal on his contract because he met the threshold for innings that's in his contract, and he's going to command a lot of money because, let's face it, he's going to be the Cy Young winner. He's back on the bump tonight on Thursday as they open up a series against Baltimore, looking for, I think it's his 18th win. He's coming in close on 20 wins for the season. So for him to do that, I mean, it's a really, really cool thing to do. And, you kind of hear him speak candidly about being away from baseball for a couple of years. And then again, we hit on this a couple of episodes ago here on Beyond the Diamond, that the relationship between Jim Crane and Justin Verlander is going to come in handy when Verlander opts out and everyone in Houston wants him to come back. Crane hopefully will be right there to say, you know what, Justin, you're not leaving anywhere. Here's a 2 or 3 year deal worth $120 million contract. So,
yeah, I think it's huge. And I think the interview that JV gave and Kate gave to, I think it was Rosenthal around All-Star break, just kind of humanized him. And I don't think a lot of people realize, like, these elite athletes are the best of the best, and the Jordans, the Kobes, the Tigers, the Justin Verlanders, they have a little bit of asshole to them.
Right.
And they're the best of the best. They have their routine, they have their thing, and I think it's been said throughout his time. JV was just kind of doing his own thing, and that's what you expect and want them to do. Obviously, the other side is like, well, they're not approachable or not personality wise, or not blah 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 blah. But to see this gift that Justin Verlander was given, and the way he's been treating it, and man, it's just so cool to see. Like, because you never really got that from him when he was in Detroit, and maybe the early years here in Houston as well. So to see that kind of leadership step up. I think that speaks volumes to kind of the leader he has been this entire season with the young arms and everyone else. I think that just pays dividends for the future of the Houston Astros. So excited to see him go for 20. Excited to see him get the Cy Young, and then obviously we'll deal with the contract situation in the offseason. But at this point, just this team's playing really damn good baseball, and they're getting hot at the right time. I think they're 15-4 in September. Is that correct? Do we know?
Yeah, producer Josh, can you check that for us?
They're like the best. I think MLB Metrics tweeted something today about it. But yeah, at the end of the day, this team's peaking at the right time, and that's what you want in October. I don't know if no one wants to say it out loud, but are we the team that's getting hot right before October?
Yeah, I mean, you look at what the offense is doing. I mean, the pitching's been solidified pretty much damn near all season. The bullpen had a little bit of issues, running into some fatigue, I would probably imagine. But here lately, they've been nails. Will Smith has had a bunch of clean innings over the last couple of days, last couple of weeks. Neris, Montero, Ryan Presley, Ryan Stanek.
Hold on. Press has a changeup now.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Just inventing pitches into their arsenal before October. Like that's how big of a lead we've had. Our closer just was like, "Fuck it, I'm just gonna go in and start throwing this changeup." It's so disrespectful to the league. I love it.
Add that to the repertoire for Ryan Presley. But yeah, I mean, you look at what the Astros have done, especially here in the month of September. Dude, they just went into St. Pete and Tropicana Field and swept the Rays. And a lot of people think the Rays are going to end up playing the Astros in the ALDS. Now,
they're top three arms.
The Rays are going to, yeah, exactly. They're 1, 2, and 3. Like they demolished those guys. McClanahan, obviously, he came out because of a neck injury, but what they did to him before that, they put up 4 or 5 runs off of him. I mean, what they did to the Rays, is it's just another day in the park for them. But the Rays is what the matchup that a lot of people think is going to happen. And the Rays got other issues, man. They're going to have to get past a wild card team. And then they got guys. Let me pull up this little drama thing they got going on in Tampa Bay. Yeah. You have Randy Rosarina and Yandy Diaz fighting each other in the game in the parking lot after Monday night's game. Dude, throwing hands. The Astros
just break spirits.
Yeah, that was on Monday. They didn't even play. They didn't even play on Tuesday. What's that?
Astros in September, 15-4. Their worst month of the season was April, 11-10. Since then, they've had over a 600 winning percentage in every month.
Think about it this way.
That fucks.
Think about it this way. The longest losing streak the Astros have had this season, 4 games, and that was in early April. 4 games is the most they've lost.
Yeah. There's one thing that is kind of, and I think it was Callis brought it up. The Rays have a legit, this weekend, maybe the last weekend they play a home game.
Yeah. Because
listen to this. The Rays, after this Blue Jay series, which is a huge series for the wild card implications, they go on the road to the Guardians. They're on the road to Houston. And then they wrap up the season in Boston. If they're the away wildcard team, they're not going back to Tampa.
Right.
They then fly to Seattle or fly to Toronto and then turn around. And if they win that, come to Houston. So they legitimately may not be home until game 3 of an ALDS.
Brutal. That's brutal.
That's a lot of miles.
Yeah.
On those guys.
That's brutal, man. Yeah, that's a big series between them and the Blue Jays. That's a big series between them and the Blue Jays.
Well, the big thing that the Astros that no one's really talking about in the series is that they got to see their top arms. They get to see all their high leverage bullpen arms, and we're going to see them again when they come to Houston because Tampa's fighting for playoff positioning. So they're going for it. So the Astros
they're getting knocked out, 100%.
Which they could, but at least the R&D department is going to have all this data on all their arms and what to do.
We're
able to build a game plan.
Sports MT is stopping it. This is Beyond the Diamond podcast for Apollo
Beyond
HOU.
the Diamond? What do you mean Beyond the Diamond? Everything is about the diamond.
See, there we go. Consummate professional just coming in.
Consummate.
And I mean, Matt, can I ask you a question real quick?
Sure. What are you getting out of here?
Probably about 15 minutes. What do you got? Cut a couple spots?
You do a phone commercial, a phone interview.
The people want to know, is there a team in the AL that can beat the Astros?
Yes.
Who is that?
Can, but won't.
Okay.
The Yankees.
You think it's the Yankees?
Yeah. I was just in New York for 2 days. I heard nothing but Aaron Judge 24/7.
Terrible. Tough, man. Matt thinks the Yankees.
I mean, just don't pitch the Judge.
Right. Pitch
If-
around
if-
Aaron Judge.
if
Give him
I'm
the
the
Barry
Yankees-
Bonds treatment.
This someone else has to beat me.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's interesting. Josh thinks the Rays won't make it out. What do you think? It's the Jays.
So right now, yeah, it'd be Jays versus Rays and Seattle versus Cleveland. Who wins those matchups?
Seattle will beat Cleveland. And man, I think
Glasnow's coming back.
dude, I think the Blue Jays are going to end up in the ALDS. I think they'll have a little bit of
Against
that
us?
youth magic. Yeah, I think so.
I think it's
They don't have
Springer and Minute
pitching.
Maid Park.
But look, I mean, look at the Rays like
If Shane's hurt, then okay. But if you're trying out Shane,
who has a better offensive lineup, the Blue Jays or the Rays?
the Blue Jays, yeah.
Right.
But offense and pitching wins in October.
If they
True.
have Manoah, and then if Gossman and Barrios are when they're on
Bro,
In a
think about it.
3-gamer, okay. In a 3-gamer,
Yeah,
okay.
thank you. Yeah, think about it in a
In a
3-gamer.
3-gamer,
yeah.
That's
Okay.
that is a series that is built for the Blue Jays to win against the Rays. Against the Rays.
I'll take it because I think we can beat the shit out of them.
And then you look
The
at
Jays.
and then you look at the Mariners and you look at the Guardians. Yeah, the Guardians somehow are winning that division. That division sucks. Tito Francona still doing what he needs to do to get wins out of that club. But man, the Mariners, they've got a good pitching staff. Adding Luis Castillo to that staff obviously made them better. But then again, dude, I don't even know if fluky things happen in a 3-game series.
Weird things happen. And look, I didn't want to say it, but you brought it up. The Guardians don't give a fuck.
No, they don't.
And that's dangerous.
Right.
All the pressure in the world is going to be on Seattle at home. First time in 21 years they've had a playoff game.
Last time they got one knockout in the first round.
It gets a little tight. It gets a little tight in October.
Yeah.
And the Guardians are just the bucket. Someone's open down there. Like that's the mentality. And in a 3-gamer, things get weird.
Jose Ramirez gets hot.
Things can get squirrely.
Yeah, I'm just really, really glad that the Astros are not in a wild card scenario because those 3 games now it's a 3-gamer, right? So that makes it even more interesting. Like, yeah, the 1-gamer, it's electric, it's awesome, but a 3-game series, dude, those teams are going to be throwing anything and everything at each other, and then they're going to limp it regardless of who wins. Even if you sweep that wild card, you're going to limp into the ALDS, and you're going to get smacked around game 1.
Yeah.
Are we worried? The Astros last game is October 5th, and then the ALDS doesn't start until October 11th.
Yeah,
are we worried about that break?
So I think there's 2 things to that. I think, are we worried? I mean, yeah, there's probably a little bit of worry there. Like, usually, like, look what the Nationals in 2019, the Braves last year, like those teams caught fire late and took off into the playoffs. They rode the momentum all the way into the playoffs and went on to win World Series. And it just sucks that both were against the Astros. But the thing for me that I like about that is you get Yordan to have extra rest. You get Altuve to have extra rest. Bregman, all the guys get extra rest. And then your arms get to relax. And you will have the freshest bodies that you can rolling into the ALDS. So of course, I think a little bit of concern sets in. But, dude, the Astros have been there, done that. Like,
yeah. That's what I was about to say.
They're
They've
built-
logged so many innings in October that they can. If there's any team that can jumpstart themselves, it's the Houston Astros.
Yeah.
And game 1 at Minute Maid Park is going to be a
Dude.
fucking circus.
And
I trust our staff and everybody to work those days where they're
Oh, for
resting, but
sure.
they're
We'll
also
have
staying
we'll
hot.
have some
Yeah.
inter squad. Yeah.
What's gonna
And-
suck? What's gonna suck is game 1 of the ALDS is probably gonna be like a 2:10 start.
Oh, I was about to say we're gonna get
That
the
sucks,
210
dude.
early slot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it'll be like a 2 o'clock, 1 o'clock start. That just means I'm gonna be housing beers by
We'll
11
be-
a.m.
We'll be out some beers at Big City Wings.
Oh man,
Um,
dude. Yeah. Now, so yeah, a little bit of concern, but if anybody, like we said, the Astros are built for October, man. We've been saying this for since 2017, dude, and all the innings, and then plus, you also look at the two out of the 3 trade pieces that they added in. If assuming Will Smith makes the postseason roster for the LDS, dude, he's been there, done that. And Christian Vasquez is a World Series champion, and he's played in so many games in October. Those are 2 guys that you're going to have on your roster that you don't have to worry about. So a little bit of concern, but not too much.
Pena's our only like regular starter or player that doesn't have postseason experience, right?
Chazzy has it tucked.
Mancini doesn't have any postseason experience, but
I think he has one. I think his rookie year they made it.
I didn't.
That was
think,
it.
I didn't even think he had any.
I mean, it's one. I think it was a
Maybe
one
it's just-
gamer, but
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, Pena's the only guy, and put him in the 2 hole. Let him just keep doing him. Baptism by fire. And I think the big thing is this: like, there's gonna be times where I think in the past, the Houston Astros have been obviously the best team in the American League for almost 7-8 years, but there's been series where one person has won a series, right? Jordan last year in the CS, just taking over a series. You have in the past Correa taking over series. You've had Altuve take over series. I think this is an actual cohesive team going in one direction where offensively we're stringing hits together. Like there's no hero ball, and it's different because the other series you had to have a George Springer hit 7 home runs. Like you had to do that. This team, you don't really have to do that. Do your job, get to the next guy. He's going to do his job. He's going to get to the next guy. I think that's the first time we're seeing that. And it's just a perfect storm of people leaving, new guys stepping up, the team that's here. Like, so I'm excited for that because those teams go far regardless. And then you already show the Astros success in October and then this pitching staff. I think the Astros sweep every I think they sweep the DS. I think they probably win in 5 in the CS in the World Series. I'm believing, and I don't want to believe. I really don't, because I don't want to be hurt.
Who in the AL is going to beat them? Honestly, look, man, I understand. I understand that things can happen in a 5-game series. I understand that pitching and defense wins you playoff games. And so if you want to look at it that way, look at the Astros pitching staff. Look at the defense. Like, and we have this season offensively, we still haven't even really seen all of the lineup be on the same page at the same time. There's been games where Altuve and Pena both have 2 and 3 hits, 4 hits, but then Bregman is 0 for 3 with a walk. Jordan's 0 for 4 with 2 strikeouts. Then there's other games where it's Altuve and Bregman, but then you got other guys that are hitless, like, and so forth and so on. You haven't you haven't really seen a game or a string of games where the lineup 1 through 9, or at least 1 through 8, is on fire. Like, we haven't seen that yet. You also can't forget about Kyle Tucker, who just knocked in his 100th ribeye of the season. Like, and he's having an average year.
Yeah.
And
that was the big argument on Twitter yesterday. Is this team better or worse than the 2019 team?
Dude,
I think this
team can be. I think they will perform better in the postseason.
100%.
The 2019 team, like, when you compare them, I think that the 2019 was better, but I think this team can be better than that team.
So I think the 2019 team, the names were sexier than this team's names.
Dude,
but this team is better.
I think a lot of individual players had better individual seasons, and it raised the overall stats. Like, the offensive stats, so it was one of the best teams of all time.
Well, Bregman was
Andrew's
second.
balls.
Bregman was second in MVP voting that
Yeah.
year. You had Justin Verlander, Garrett Cole, and Zach Greinke as your 1, 2, 3. Those are 3 sexy names. You had what's his name? Who was leadoff? George Springer. I mean, you can go on and on and on about that team. I mean, that team was – it still just blows my mind that they did not win the World Series.
I think this lineup and bullpen and starting rotation is better optimized to win in October.
I would agree with that.
I think, I mean, you have this team, this Astros team that no one is really talking. I mean, it's always obviously been about Yordan, and this season he's had been 304, 1.032 OPS, all the home runs, 37 of them. But you have Tucker at 28 bombs. He's flirting with 30-30. He has 100 RBIs. He has more RBIs than Yordan. His OPS is 821. Jose Altuve, no one's talking, is having a damn good year.
What's he at, like 295? Is he like 295?
Yeah, 294 with an OPS of 894. OPS plus at 152, so he's over 52% better than the league. No one's really talking about it. And Breggs is absolutely killing it. 840 OPS. He may be damn near 900 if he gets hot the next week and a half.
Altuve is basically having an exactly copy year of his 2019 season.
Yeah,
which means he hasn't lost a step.
Right. All right, we got 12 games left. The Astros are 99-51 as we record this on Thursday, getting ready to play the Baltimore Orioles in Baltimore. They're about to win their 100th game. The magic number to clinch the best record in the American League is down to 5. What are you looking for the final 12 games of the season?
Yeah, just sustain good at bats. Obviously, they're actually playing teams that are jockeying for playoff spots. So that means they're going to be facing really, really good pitching down the stretch, which is huge. So looking forward to that. Seeing Verlander get extended more. Seeing the battle for that final starting spot, I think, between Urquidy, Javier, and Garcia. Competition breeds success. So that's a huge thing. Obviously, ALDS, they're going to try out JV, Framber, Lance, right? So those guys are fighting for a playoff roster spot, but also who's in the pen and who's in the rotation. So that's big down the stretch. And then Hunter Brown. I'm still want to see, just keep throwing in weird situations. I throw him in first and second, 1 out. Hey, you're up, kid. Baptism by fire. Like, just throw him in weird scenarios. Throw him in some dirty situations and see how his stuff works.
Yeah. So for me, it's going to be stay healthy, number 1. And I want to see more of what we saw from Lance McCullers last night. He threw 7 strong innings. Command of pitches was there. The velocity is there. I want to see more of that. Getting 7 strong from Lance McCullers in the playoffs is, I mean, that's all you can ask for. So those are my 2 things. Stay healthy and continue to progress Lance McCullers. He will have the freshest arm riding into the playoffs. So those are my 2 things. And then the rest will take care of itself. They've got the lineup to do it. They've got the bullpen pitching extremely well. Obviously, the starters are continuing to do what they've done all season long and be consistent. So, man, just the biggest key, stay healthy.
Yeah. I mean, with everything coming to a head, October baseball is the best. And it's almost like, can we just simulate to the end of the season at this point? But until then, I think this team's dialed. I think they have a healthy chip on their shoulder. I don't think anyone projected them outside of Mr. Garrett over here to have multiple, be over 100 wins into this conversation of, hey, can they actually beat the franchise record? And if they take care of business against Baltimore this weekend, as they should, we're really going to be flirting with that number down the stretch. So pumped to see that. Pumped to see this team kind of just fly under the radar of expectations and play damn good baseball like we expect. So other than that, shout out to Big City Wings for sponsoring this episode today. Make sure you guys go out. 11 locations across the city. I've just put it in your map, Google Maps. It'll be one right by you. College football, NFL, best wings in the city. We're a Big City Wing family. So shout out to them for helping us out this episode.
Yep. They're now open at 10:30 in the morning on Saturdays until college football season ends. They've got new drink items, new menu items. They got the El Pastor quesadillas. A must try are the loaded fries. So again, like I said, shout out to Big City Wings. Hey, The cooler weather, the colder weather is right around the corner. The pumpkin spice lattes are about to be flowing. Dez, add a little Bailey's. Hey, the fall's coming, brother. October is right around the corner. I'm Jack bricked up.
Brian's got his Lulus and his pumpkin spice ready. He's feeling it. He's feeling it.
Look, October is one of the best months in the season during the year, and it's right around the corner. October baseball, football's in full swing. Start your morning off with a pumpkin spice latte. Okay. Garrett, our guy Garrett, is the one that told me to try it out, so I'll try it out soon.
Are we sponsored by Starbucks now? Or
Yeah, what
I
are we
didn't
doing?
I didn't say Starbucks.
What are we doing?
I didn't say Starbucks. I just said a pumpkin spice latte. You can
Hey,
literally
Starbucks, you gonna throw some money our way?
you can literally make it on your own. No free ads, people. Come on. Hey, Josh, I'm really happy that you decided to join us today.
Yeah, I'm found time in my schedule. And
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Oh,
Really
man.
glad. Can we go to camera 2? Camera 3? Thank you. There he is. That's going to do it, man. I mean,
Let's go.
we're close. We are close.
Wrap it up.
That's going to do it.
Wrap it up. Lock it up.
Again, this episode was sponsored to you by Big City Wings, 11 locations around Houston. Go check them out. Get some El Pastor fries, loaded fries, or the El Pastor quesadilla, fresh cold
Give me some wings.
beer. Yep, of course, wings.
Give me some
chicken tenders,
wings.
everything else. That's going to do it. For ApolloDez, I am Brian LaLima, our producer, Josh Strohs. That's going to do it. Thank you for listening. We'll be back in a couple of days.